So, we got 2 people in the audience. Hey there, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, thank God. Right? No sooner did I click off you now than it suddenly started working. I recently got a new battery, and I wasn't sure if that was screwing things up because I have a direct connection internet set up right now. I had the usual Wi-Fi before, but it was going in and out, in and out, and in and out. So first that was being weird. Now the sound was being weird. And I'm sitting there going, oh, come the frick on. Hello. How y'all doing? Not Mopey Phillip, unlike the last couple of live streams. By the way, I know people are going to say, don't apologize for it, but I will anyway. I am so sorry for here and listening to my mopey, depressive ranting. I try not to get people around whenever I'm having one of those moments. It's something everybody struggles with, but it tends to become contagious. So I just had to take a break and take care of me. So welcome back, everyone, and thank you for putting up with all of that. Oh. And a big thank you to some people that have privately reached out to me with their own thoughts and stuff. I won't name names. Y'all know who you are. Y'all are amazing. Including a random person who knows who she is that occasionally Twitter DMs me even though I don't use the platform anymore just to say hi. You're cool. So hello everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you again after a stretch. Yes, I'm randomly nibbling because I always do. Oh no, that's Friday, Owly. That's Friday. My birthday's on Friday. But thank you for the advance cake. Oh yeah, no, I did have to take time for myself. I was just having another one of those on and off bouts with depression, so I was starting to turn into emo Phil, and that's never fun for anybody. Yes. Yep, Virgo. Sean Connery also has the same birthday, August 25th. Yeah, I was starting to turn into emo Phil there for a moment. That was not fun. Oh my God, it's Mecha Draco. You actually showed up too. How you doing, buddy? How's 7 Days to Die going? I hope you're keeping a little bit better eye on your surroundings now. Yeah, I try to. Yeah, always hungry. Yep. I am. What's good? I'm not sure about that title, but yeah, it's an easygoing night for the most part. I need to actually catch up on Mecha Draco's latest bit where he does live streams. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's actually, I believe it is Mecha Draco on YouTube, and he does gaming and stuff. He's a little bit of a better setup than mine, and he does gaming, and he's doing some Let's Plays on a couple of different things, but the one I was watching was 7 Days to Die. So, definitely, if you're a fan of killing zombies at random, base survival and stuff, I think you'll probably enjoy those videos. He plays a good game. He plays a good game. The only criticism I've got is that he doesn't watch his back enough. So he'll start talking, and he'll be like wide out in the open. And I'm sitting there going, expecting him to get ganked by a zombie or like a swarm of bears or something any moment. Then again, the environment that I set up with was different than his. So his environment did not have zombies popping up every so often. Hey, no, it's okay. It's okay, Draco. It's okay. You've been doing your thing. It's been a while since I've had the chance to talk to you on or offline, so I'm glad to see that you're doing well. I may mess with you in Ribia, but yeah, you're playing default settings. Actually, I'm in an area that is right next to like an army base, and it's in a wasteland type area where they have the burnt zones. So I think those areas probably get a little bit more zombie attack than the one that you had, which is a little bit more remote. So, hey Lotus. I forget what I was actually about to talk about in a moment. Oh, Elvin Faye! Hey, I remember you. Yeah, the army base, it depends. I didn't realize that it was like literally like there's the house, and then you go up the hill, and then there's an army zone. Yep. Yep. And I'm sitting there going, because I had like a swarm of zombies come straight down the hill, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I don't like frozen lumberjacks, but the ones that I hate the most are the dogs. It's funny, I'm an animal lover, but in game, those animals hate my guts. Because they come out of nowhere, or they spawn almost right on top of you, and you're like, oh, what the hell is this? Or you'll have what is it? Bears, the zombie bears, and like 2 or 3 of them will come up in a swarm right around the corner of your house. And you're like, run, run away, run away! I remember you talking about the random swarm of dire wolves. Oh, the wolves are crazy, but the bears, man, they take headshots like the Hulk takes. They take headshots like I can't even come up with a good comparison for that one. They're like a walking tank, basically. I'm talking about with a sniper rifle. I love the sniper rifle. But I love the traps. 7 Days to Die. It depends on where you're at. They start some places more than others, but it's called 7 Days to Die. It's actually a good game. They recently released, not too long ago, a month ago? It was a nice little patch that added a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, well, have a nice night, Wicked. It was good to see you. Birds. They have zombie birds. Oh god, I hate those things about as much as the wolves. You can barely hit them unless they're coming right at you. And even then, they kind of tilt in weird ways. Yeah, they're zombie birds. They don't pop up very often, depending on where you're at. Some biomes seem to have them a little bit more than others. But they'll get up and they'll start like flying around a little bit, and then they'll start to hone in on you. So you'll be on top of a roof, like sniping zombies and stuff, and next thing you know, ark, ark, and I'm like, ah, son of a. No, it's awesome though when you get, because the patch has traps. Yep, they have traps. They have the spitting blade trap. They have electric fence. Yeah, if you're interested, you should actually take a look at Mecha's stream because he's doing an actual playthrough on it. He actually streams it live as he's playing it, whereas I don't quite have the setup for it. So I think you'll actually enjoy watching him play. I know I do. I'll fuss at him for his play style, as he'll tell you. He's like, "Oh, damn it, get off it, Nishi." But but he does play a mean game, and he's actually pretty entertaining to watch. I think you'll enjoy it. No, they have the blade traps, they have the electric fences, and then they have shotgun and auto turrets. Okay, I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming Lotus, probably not too late, but okay, we'll do. Once you get a good setup with those going, though, surviving the hordes becomes basically a snap, actually becomes kind of entertaining. I've considered doing like a 7 Days to Die server and such. I know other people have talked about it. I had a server for Rust and for Starbound for a little bit, but I closed shop on those because really there wasn't anything going on with them. They do eat up a lot. The saw blades tend to eat up a lot of power, though. So you would want gas generators for that. You would want gas generators. Make sure you have some good oil shale going, so you have gasoline for the gens, and then put them in strategic places, wire them down, and oh, it's fun. Plus, if you get tired of looking at the white background, they changed up the painting so you can paint over tiles. So you can make them look a little bit more personable. You can actually set up a place and make it look like a library. You still can't apparently sit in chairs for some reason that I have no idea. But that's like a minor gripe for a very enjoyable game. It's always interesting to get stuff set up. I started a new playthrough not too long ago, I think it was. And the place I decided to make a base out of it was actually one of those big towers. And I walk in there, and there's apparently, there's another thing that they have added, which is false floors and doors. Or walls. So you'll be walking on the floor, and it'll break underneath you. And this area I broke into, fell down into. I look on the side, and there's letters along the wall that read DNA testing. And I was sitting there going, well, that's new and unsettling. And then I see glass containers, each one with a zombie in it. Each one of them with a zombie in it. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's not fun. Oh, they've added some stuff to the game. I was actually really impressed. The people that do design the game for Rust really ought to take some cues about game design from these guys. Because when they release an update, they really release an update, whereas Rust fucks everything up on a weekly basis just so they can make the grass look pretty. They clearly do not play their own game. But 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die was, I will say, is well done. That's one of those that is definitely well done. There was another one that was released not too long ago, and it's called Halcon. And the one that you actually want is pull this up here, Lightspeed Edition. Because I originally got Starbase Commander, and they were nice enough that when they released a new version of the game, which was the Lightspeed Edition, everyone that had the classic version got the upgraded edition for free. Which is a plus in itself. That's good business. Great job. You gave back to the people that supported you. Cool. And the Lightspeed Edition adds all kinds of neat little features. You can set up your base. They've added stuff to it where the AI is a little bit better. Story kind of makes a little bit more sense. It's a lot more fluid. The grind is a lot more bearable. You can actually get stuff going without being slaughtered like it's nothing. So, again, I like the Lightspeed Edition much better than the Classic. And the bonus points for the fact that they went and gave everybody that had already bought the game the upgraded version for free, because it's just fair. It is. Go for the Lightspeed Edition, though. It's actually pretty cool. You can set up, you have a fleet of 3 different ships. You can level them up accordingly and take different pathways. You can actually choose some options when it comes to that. So, again, really cool stuff. And there is some Star Trek, almost like faster than light sequences in with that. It does. It does. Very much so. Try to think of any others that are really good off the top of my head. If you like sandbox survival games, one I was trying not too long ago, replaying again, was Empyrean Galactic Survival. And that one was actually pretty good as far as like base building, exploring the world, doing the digging and such. Yeah, I didn't make a captain. Or at least not as far as I'm aware. You just need basically a guy with a ship. That's pretty much it. Oh, there's another one. It's actually, it's quirky. If you're a fan of roguelikes, there's one that's called Dungeon Tris. Like Dungeon Tetris. And the principle is this. You have a main block where your character sits. And there's the roguelike thing where you go up and down and around in that block, okay? But you right-click, and it shows you whatever block you have available. You can't rotate them, but you can choose where to place it. And some of these will have monsters, traps, etc. around, so you can kind of create your own dungeon in a way and go through it. It's not really as easy as it sounds. It is, in some cases, you have to be careful how you set certain things up and how you place things, and there are little obstacles and so on. You'll find that in Steam, yeah. And it's called Dungeon Triss. So that's another good one. And of course, I'm always a big fan of the Disgaea series. I hope they release 3 and 4 and the rest of them soon. I really do. Really, really would like that. Oh, Subnautica's got an update that they're in the process of. Looks like they're adding some stuff with that. I'm going to have to check that out before too long. So, and of course, if you just want to randomly battle things in like a text generator style, Ultimate Arena is good for that too. Ultimate Arena. Yeah, Subnautica had a large one that I saw. I thought about Space Engineers, but it just didn't seem like something that would have a lot of long-term appeal for me. Just like for instance, like I looked at some Minecraft-like ones, and I saw Creativerse, which was interesting, and I could play it, and it was alright, but it just got stale pretty quickly. I guess it depends. I don't know. Maybe I would think better if I actually played the thing, I don't know. But, I've actually been looking to try and get into multiplayer, because playing by myself is great and all, but playing with a group is also pretty fun. So I like to try and play in a group if I can. Usually, though, folks are either busy or they're playing games that I either don't have, or they're playing stuff like Rust, and I'm pretty much done with the game for right now. At least until they make improvements. Yeah, I have a lot of different games and stuff that I work with. I also have been doing work on the interactive RPG. The icon effects are just about done with that. And I've been working on the town, and then from there, that should be ready to go at some point. I will have another stream on August 25th, probably early on in the day, till when I have no earthly idea. Again, mainly because that is my birthday, and why the hell not? Hello, Meowix, welcome back. And, yeah, so I'll have another stream on the 25th, which will be Friday. I actually managed to get that day off. I didn't even ask for it. It was off, so yay team. So I've been working on that kind of stuff. I've been looking into different ways of trying to bring it around, too, because I really would like to have a tabletop role-playing game session online, on stream. I would like to get some people involved in that, and I'll probably start early in the day, and I might just keep on streaming for a good portion of the evening. So, I'm usually on for quite a while whenever I stream. Are you kidding me? I love tabletop gaming. I usually like to play the crazy sorcerer, drow sorcerer, or human sorcerer. I actually do play humans a lot, but occasionally I will play it out. Which my drows are mischievous and opportunistic as all get out. Sonico, you're talking about horror games. There was one on Steam. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because it was recommended to me, and I thought about it. It looks interesting. Darkwood, that's the one. Because I'm looking at that thing and I'm like, wow, it's a top-down survival game of sorts. From what I've seen of it, it sounded kind of interesting in itself. And it's called Darkwood. So look up Darkwood on Steam. If you like survival horror or horror in general, you'll probably like that, because the graphics are really curious. What just happened? Did my screen just go dark? Can you guys still see me? Okay, that was weird. That's weird, because like applause will pop up, like an icon pulls up, and then the screen in my end just goes dark. And then after it ends, it comes back in. You guys being really bizarre today. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, that's a good one for horror. The other one that I recommend, you can find this game for free. Actually, if you go to abandonia.com, I'm not sure if it's .com or net. And you can look for its, what is it? 5 Days a Stranger, 6 Days a Sacrifice. No, 5 Days a Stranger. Oh, 6 Days a Sacrifice. Oh, that's right, because it's all about. I'm trying to put it in what it would be considered chronological order. Now the cool thing is, that's what I just put in the chat right now. Those are the game titles of the series, and it's called Chizo Mythos. For those of you interested in my Pathfinder campaign, there is a tie-in to the Chizo Mythos that I am working on as part of that campaign. Because if there's one thing I love, it is good horror, and Chizo Mythos is very well done horror, and basically it's a point-and-click style of game in the variety of like The Curse of Monkey Island and some of those classics. It's freeware. You can find it, download it, it's awesome. And some of the taglines in there really set the creepy vibe, and you're like, oh, that's nasty, but it's fun. It's hard that's done right. And if you're, as far as the author, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Ben Yahtzee Croshaw that does the escapist Zero Punctuation. That was actually one of the game series that he created. So, very interesting. He actually is called, there's a Steam game that actually has as one of the characters a trilby-like character. It's called the Consuming Shadow, and it's based off of that. It's one of the mystery gods, I believe it's Chizo, or it's alluded to. Pathfinder is basically Dungeons & Dragons 3.75. It's more of a true successor. You have archetypes, you have a lot more options you can work with, and I like that I can work with the rules. They're flexible enough that I can homebrew just about everything. Like for my Pathfinder campaign, I've got Keybladers, I've got Moogles as a playable race, I've got Dragoons, I've got Dark Knights. I've got a couple of different things in there. So, you have options with Pathfinder, and depending on the GM, especially if they're a very creative GM, they can usually set up a lot of neat little scenarios for you. Plus, I like the character options. You can they're really flexible. And from what I've basically seen of D&D 5.0, they took a lot of ideas in their character setup and such from what they saw the archetype system for setting up classes from Pathfinder. So, good stuff. Really good stuff. There's also another series that I have that's called it's called End of the World. And basically, these are one-shots. They use a little bit of a different rule system. But it sets up like an end-of-the-world scenario, and you're just a regular Joe Schmo for the most part, trying to survive. So I have two of the books, which one of them is End of the World, Wrath of the Gods, which has a biblical apocalypse, Revelation style, as one scenario. Cthulhu Rising from Lovecraft as another scenario. Atlantis attacks. A twist on Mars attacks, where the little Greys attack first, and their attempted invasion after the ceasefire, draws another invasion that actually alludes to War of the Worlds. So it's like two different alien invasions crossed over with a B-movie tie-in that's just amazingly done. So now you're working with the Greys to fight off War of the Worlds version 3.0 on your doorstep. Oh, Dark Heresy! I have played Dark Heresy. I'm not really much of a fan of Dark Heresy version 2.0. They changed some things in ways that were like, oh, come on. Mainly because I played a Psyker. And I played we all played like a Star Wars build, and my character was the Jedi build with Sidious-like leanings. He still wound up the Mora one. Go figure. Then again, Dark Heresy is really grimdark. It really is grimdark. But I loved some of the spells for Dark Heresy. Oh, the things you can do with Touch of Madness. It's a fun spell. Or psychic power. And it's one of your basic psychic powers. So you can choose it right from the beginning. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, we had an Ecclesiarch, we had, who was like a televangelist, we had a scum who was like a Han Solo type, we had an assassin that was like Boba Fett. It was pretty wild. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. If you can't tell, I'm also a big Undertale fan. And you can tell, yeah, it's not hard to really tell which character I'm a fan of either. I'll give you a hint. It's really obvious. Really, really obvious. My characters generally like to learn things, and they tend to follow a particular code for the most part, but they also tend to get highly mischievous. I like to find unusual ways to use items, especially magic items. Nothing wrong with Zelda. Actually, I have some base specs for homebrewing Zelda into Pathfinder. I could probably create a rule book for it, complete with stats and so on. I do have some stats that I have made for Mario-style characters. It's actually a turtle version of kobolds. And then I've got Yoshi's. I have Pathfinder stats for Yoshi's. I have a creature that's like Bowser. And yes, that's in the campaign. That was in the campaign. So you will see that at some point in the campaign. Do I have any predictions for the next Star Wars film? It's looking interesting. I haven't seen a lot of if there's anything newer that's been released, I haven't seen a whole lot of it. But it's actually looking pretty interesting from what I have seen of it, where they're saying that, the Jedi when Luke is saying the Jedi basically has to die. So, that's, wow, good stuff. Martin, there's a surprise face. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. So, I think Star Wars is actually doing alright. I'm doing alright for the most part. I had a little bit of an emo moment for there, but I'm feeling much better. We all have our things we struggle with from time to time. I'm thinking we might see something of the Grey Jedi in this one. Yep, Grey Jedi. It's been something that's been teased in a lot of the other Star Wars ones. They had, what was it? Star Wars Rebels. They teased that. Neither the light nor the dark, something in between. They teased it a couple of times, actually. But I would love to see the Grey Jedi make an appearance, something that's firmly in the balance. Because far too often we see things that are pushed in one extreme or the other extreme. and it's like a pendulum. And if you go from one to the other to one to the other, and it just keeps this cycle. And the Jedi and Sith basically, they're a great example of this. We see it in society, but the Jedi and Sith are a great example of this. Even the Jedi themselves have their moments of being extreme. And as has been demonstrated even in like Pathfinder and so on, you can have someone that's lawful good, and they can do stuff that's pretty well extremist in their own right. Another good example of this was, what was it? The Plane of Order, Mortal Kombat. I think it was, Deception. Shujinko, the character Shujinko, when he visits the Plane of Order, and they broke curfew by like a minute, and he was like sentenced to stay there for like hundreds of years, so he was old and gray. So extreme order as opposed to extreme chaos, which is all over the place. I always find these sorts of things particularly interesting, and it just, for me personally, it's just one of those things that's like, okay, what we need is more of a balance. I mean, you're still going to have things go crazy, but the closer you are to the middle of the spectrum, as long as there's a little bit of movement, the disruptions really ain't so bad. You'll still have good, you'll still have bad, because these things are always present. But, just the same, it'll be one of those where it's just not as severe as we've seen it. And as far as my favorite character, no, my favorite character in Undertale is Sans. Zelda is not in Undertale. But actually, as far as Zelda goes, everything I've seen of Breath of the Wild makes me wish I had a Switch. Because Breath of the Wild was a really good game from what I've seen of it. And I am a fan of Zelda. I love the new Zelda. I love the kids cartoon. That version of Zelda was one of the best I've seen, but the one from Breath of the Wild is probably the most real that I've seen of her. And what makes her so real? She has stuff that she struggles with. She has reasons for doing what she does, and she get frustrated at the hero, right? But there's the reason why. She struggles with her own failings. She's human. She doesn't just come into her abilities. She is described as being someone that at some point is basically praying away in freezing cold waters of Lake Hylia, trying to get a reception from the gods to gain just enough power to save her world from calamity. She is really ambitious and really determined. She's also a bit of a scientist and a scholar. She's very personable. They did a really good job with her character development. And what I like about the character development that they did with it as far as Link, in a way they explain why he never speaks. And without spoiling anything, all I'm going to really say is one of the entries of Zelda's diary that you will find from... I haven't played the game, but I've seen a lot of the lore, because I love lore. They explain. She has a conversation with Link, basically, and he explains why he's always silent all the time, because she actually gets into an argument with him over it. And it's great. And I sit there going, it's a great nod to continuity. It's a great nod to the fans always asking, why Link never speaks. And it shows just this interaction with the world that we really hadn't seen up to that point, and I think it's really great as far as, again, writing and character development, because that can make or break any game. Character development, gameplay, graphics are all well and good, but we want something that plays well. And I've seen nothing but good things out of Breath of the Wild. They did a really good job with it, so I can say that I'm definitely a fan. And even the Guardians, the different races, are really kind of... they have their own personality. They're not really cardboard cutouts. I can always enjoy good writing and good story. I'm sitting there going, okay, I see what they did here, and I see what they did there. Alright. Good job. Really good job. So, let's see what else, if I missed anything. Now as far as like tabletop stuff goes, I will talk about just about anything tabletop. If I've played it, I have good things to say about it. I might have bad things to say about it. I liked Call of Cthulhu, but its gameplay was just horrible. I liked Sword. I liked Skyward Sword. It was a good. It was a precursor to everything. It showed how everything got set in motion, and there are a couple of points there enough to make people really wonder. Oh, also, there were a few tidbits through Skyward, a few lenient nods or subtle hints at events from Skyward Sword in Breath of the Wild. Alright, Mecha, be safe. It's a tabletop game. It's not a role-playing game, but it is a tabletop game. I haven't played either of those games myself, Ali. But I do read up on the lore. Or read up on the lore, watch the videos. I may not have the game system. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? I may not have the game system, but I'm not going to let it stop me from enjoying a good story. Oh, Breath of the Wild's referenced a ton of Zelda games. That's right. We're still trying to figure out what part of the timeline it is actually in. And whether or not Ganon actually died at the end of it. Some suggest it's actually unified, like it unifies the timeline and they all branch into that because of the fact that the bird race and the Zoras are both present at the same time, which is kind of weird. We're not really sure, because there are allusions to certain places, like the place that may hold the Twilight Mirror, but we don't know if that's actually a thing, or if it's, kind of tongue-in-cheek, whether it's just kind of like a subtle nod. Now, something happened 10,000 years beforehand, where the beast showed up, which is what Ganon learned from in order to cause trap in this one. Well, yeah, but the Twilight Realm, the Golden Realm, a lot of that stuff has been referenced more than once. Because that's where they sent Ganon. I think that was the adult timeline. That's where they sent Ganon. They caught him, there was a brutal war, and they basically sent him, something they could really do is send him into the Dark World. As opposed to the child timeline, where he's not really present of sorts, and we wind up with, what was it, Wind Waker and stuff. Or no, I think I'm getting that wrong. No, child timeline, that goes with something different. That goes with, child timeline goes with Majora's Mask. Downfall timeline is the the Downfall timeline where he loses Ocarina of Time. That's the one that's I can't think of it now. The one with the boats where they're sailing all over the place. Wind Waker. Thank you, Wind Waker. So, yeah, I just said it. I will say, to get people talking like that over, 20, 30 years, they've done a really good job with the Zelda series. It's interesting to see where they're going with it next. And the fact that they could actually take a timeline and branch it in multiple directions and get people talking about it is like, it's not just writing genius, it's marketing genius, because they can basically take a game and place it at any particular point in the timeline, and they can go in different directions with it, and they can get away with it. They actually did multiple timelines, alternate dimensions, probably better than any game series I've seen, even Chrono Trigger. And I love Chrono Trigger. I really would love to see them just start up with Chrono Trigger and bring that back to the fold. God, if one of those games, if Chrono Trigger, if they were making another Chrono Trigger, an actual like sequel of sorts, or even another parallel timeline, I'd be like, shut up and take my money. I probably won't be on in a few hours, but yeah, not by much, but I would say better than Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock Infinite does alternate realities well. The Infinite, the way that it took the "Would you kindly" and wrapped up everything from the first game and set it in motion. Oh, that was a whammy line. That whole thing was a whammy motion. You too. May your day, week, etc. only get better. Oh, no kidding. It is a massive mind trip. Actually, some stuff we're seeing politically now, if you pay attention in the very first Bioshock game, like sex contracts and stuff like that, that was actually present in the City of Rapture. It was crazy. I've been debating getting it on Steam for Bioshock. That was one of those I never actually got a chance to play. And I've been considering it, strongly considering it. Dungeon Triss is the one I've actually been playing lately, just because it's so easy to get into. It's interesting sometimes if you pay close attention to some of these games, it's really interesting the little finer details that you'll see in the background. I definitely want to play it though, so I probably will at some point. But the "Would you kindly" reference, and the Elizabeths. They know how to write a twist. Yep. Like I said, they definitely know how to make a twist. They know how to really write and go, oh wow. Yep. Definite throwback. Oh, Infamous was good. I loved Infamous. I only had to play a little bit of one. One of the first games I played on the PS3 was actually Infamous 2, and just that opening battle where Cole is up versus the freaking beast, and you know what this thing is about, and you just feel that sensation right off the bat. You're like, oh crap. So right off the bat, you're just tossed right into it. And it keeps the momentum going. So, well, yeah. Technically, if you go with from what I've seen of the Infamous 3, they're really, it's debatable what is and isn't a good choice. But you got to figure, not all paths necessarily come to a good end, and well, sometimes people are called upon to make the ultimate sacrifice. So there was the one option, and then there was the other option. And you're like, crap. PlayStation All Stars, they had him as a playable character, Good Cole and Dark Cole. You could choose between either one, selecting either one, and he had a really good skill set too. I liked his character development because he used all sorts of different light-based powers. And like one of them was like a bouncing Betty that's these little balls like bouncing and homing in on enemies. It was just the neatest sticky grenade sort of powers. But the fact is, like his weapon, it was like a glorified taser / club, and he would conduct his power through it. And so they're going, hey, yeah, that's like the neat little details. Nyx is like the quintessential bad girl, but oh god, she is whack! That gal is whack! Guys, don't ever stick your dick in crazy. And that girl is proof of it. Okay, she's got issues. She's not as whacked as what's her name's from like Far Cry. I think it's 2. I want to say it's 2 because 3 had the guy in the fabulous clothing whose name I can't remember, but God, he was a good villain. He was an excellent villain, especially by the end of it. But I think 2 was the one where they were in the jungle. It's another one that I haven't played either, but I've seen the story because I was curious about it. And the story that they did for it. Again, these people can write some really good characters, especially villains. Because the villains, you feel sorry for them, but you really want to hate them. I think especially it was 2. Make sure I got that right. Boss, isn't it? Oh no, I think it's 3. Okay, no, it's 3. I was wrong. It is 3. 3 was the one that had Boss. Oh, see, I'm not the kind of... See, here's the thing, though. I don't mind spoilers. I like a good story. I'll play through it anyway just because it looks fun. Because they might make it look easy, but then you actually play it and you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting slaughtered now. Excuse me. Well, Boss was one of those, he was twisted crazy. He was absolutely twisted crazy. That man was as psycho as the day is long. And then you got to understand what his life was like, what his sister was like and put him through. Just the stuff that his life was, and he was still a dick, and you still were like, okay, no, taking you out of commission is probably one of the best things for the human race at this point at large. But at the same time, you did feel sorry for him. And then 4. Oh God, who was the one in 4? Pagan Min, there's the one. Pagan Min. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that laugh, Rose. Actually, Lance, I'd probably look closer to a meerkat than a rat. They're probably in the same species, but, you know. I'm not a dirty rat that's killed anybody's brother, so sorry. To quote a often misused phrase. As far as what my orientation is, no, I like ladies. Sorry, sorry, Mario. Your princess is in another castle, and it's not me. But thank you for the laugh. I'm noting a curious. I'm noticing a curious trend in the recent comments. That's actually kind of hilarious, guys. If you were any more transparent, you'd be glass. As far as only men like me, no. My last couple of relationships, actually, all of my relationships have been with women. So, thanks. No, I don't like men. I think they're friendly. As far as liking them in a relationship, that is. No, I don't like men. Otherwise, I get along with them just fine. Do I like my rats with jam or butter? That depends, because if they're grilled, then I'm going to go with butter. Otherwise, raw, you're probably going to want jam to offset that kind of taste, because I'm just not really a raw meat kind of person anyway. So, yeah, I would probably, I would have to say butter in that case. I'm not even really a person for rat, but if I had to choose, I'm probably going to go with butter, and they're going to be grilled. Hey, if I'm out in the wilderness and trying to survive, they just can't be choosers. Let's see. No, yeah, no heterosexual life mates. Like I said, sorry, Mario, the princess is in the other castle. Alcohol in that water bottle. Actually, no, I don't drink. I seem drunk? Well, okay. More power to you. No, the reference, I believe, is from, shoot, Clerks. Good movie, by the way. You look like have for 30 years. That needs a little bit more context, but whatever. Seen drunk? No, I've seen drunk people, and I don't look anything like that. But thank you. Drunken boxing is actually kind of interesting. I just don't look like it. Yep, Jay and Silent Bob. But no, there's no alcohol in the water bottle. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs of any kind. As far as the hobo rat thing, rats are kind of, I don't know. That would be a little bit of, a hobo rat would be a little redundant, don't you think? Just saying. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Kevin Smith's awesome. Oh, did they leave already? Just when I was starting to have some fun. I guess I didn't quite go with the rage that they were looking for. Oh God, this ought to be good. Nerd test. I mean, there's just one. Uh, Journey Quest. I've seen Journey Quest. I've seen Johnny Quest. Well, this is not. There's, okay, that is what I'm thinking of. All right. There's that, and there's also what was it? There was another one. I've seen The Guild. There was one where the guy goes, "Let's quest," and he plays like this weird troll dude. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. He does they do like a live role playing session, and they have gamers that come in, and he plays like a weird half orc. His buddy plays a weird little goblin. There is a barbarian chick that apparently was acting like a ballerina at one point, and then they have a guest that almost always dies. Almost always dies. So I just forget what it's been. Harmon Quest, that's the one. Harmon Quest. It's actually pretty funny, so I recommend checking it out. Put some of these off here. Yoink. Yoink. There we go. Yeah, I'm into a little bit of everything and play a little bit of everything. GURPS, BattleTech, Shadowrun, Call of Cthulhu, a little bit of Rifts, designed a couple of like little gaming systems. Nothing that's like programmed because I can't program with shit, but I can write gaming system and so on. Well, not gaming system. I can come up with game mechanics, that sort of thing. I don't see any guests. Oh, okay. I thought I was ignoring my guests. I'll probably be on for another, I want to say, 30 minutes to an hour. I'm trying to keep things a little bit more on the schedule so I can get back to sleeping. And if I can hold myself to that, then I can do like a series of mini streams on that, so I can stream during the day some too. I never actually played a lot of 2.0 D&D and such. I started with 3.5, and actually I got into that a little bit more late in the game. Eyeballage. So yeah, I'm into just a little bit of everything, and then of course there's comic books, cartoons. You'll hear me talk about Steven Universe and Ruby, or WBY that is, and occasionally Red Bullet versus Blue, but I'm not really up. It's been a while since I've watched that, so I don't remember a whole lot of it. My first role-playing game would have actually been BattleTech, and I was about 10. Yeah, so I want to say about 10. I found a book of on Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing system, in a library when I was in Rolla, and so I read it. I checked out that book a number of times, and I tried playing that one. It's a good system. It's got interesting lore, and it fits well with the mythos as a whole. The problem is it is super unforgiving, and there's not much of a room for a learning curve. So if you get a bunch of people that are new to role-playing games and you want to get them involved, not going to work out very well. They're not really going to enjoy themselves. And that's no fun, because if they're not enjoying themselves, what is the point in spending all the time to actually make a game for everybody? It's good to see you too, Charlie. We even had a pair of trolls in here to welcome me back. I was hoping for so much more, though. Russians must have sent them. They're about his caliber of troll, as in really kind of pathetic. Good game. But no. Let me just close it. My phone just started blowing up all of a sudden. Come on. Come on. Off you go. Oh yeah, no, it's always what's always fun when someone accuses you of like stalking and obsessively posting and stuff, while at the same time they themselves stalking and obsessively posting multiple people on multiple platforms. Good game. Keep failing. Seriously. It's like, okay, sure, backpedal faster. You go right ahead. Always something with that lot. It never gets interesting. I've told them. How many times have I told them? They've all got all that time on their hands that if they want to get together and have the same scripted bullshit, they could at least get together and brainstorm for some new ideas, come up with something that, I don't know, isn't complete fail. At least come up with something funny. Put a little bit of effort into it. No, nothing on the wall. Oh, no. There, dead. Yeah, that does happen from time to time, Nathan. No, it used to be really bad. So do I. It actually used to be bad, and then I got on to certain people, and yeah, exterminators are a godsend. So now I don't have so much of a problem with it. I'm done. Some people mope about it and jump up and down manically in front of the camera. Me, I get shit done. Imagine that. Progress. Kitty, both kitties are actually in the living room right now. They've been enjoying the extra attention because I actually have two additional roommates. One of which who goes in and out for a few times at a time, and the other one, I think she's currently got a friend over, and they're watching movies and stuff right now. So, yeah, needless to say, both cats are enjoying the renewed attention. And yes, thankfully, both these roommates seem to actually be pretty cool. I'm getting used to having some social roommates for a change. So they're actually. Oh yeah, New Kitty's okay. God help you if he smells food, though. He hears the microwave, he knows there's food. And I'm like, no. And he looks at me like, oh, don't abuse me like that. And I look at him like, really? So yeah, New Kitty is okay. And Ziggy is what we're calling him now. We called him originally Beethoven, and apparently he liked Ziggy because the moment I called him Ziggy, he answered to it. He just looked at me right away and then came right up to me. Okay. So Ziggy and Rudolph is still spoiled. Actually, even the dog, even Rocky, the landlord Siberian Husky, he's getting used to all this attention. He loves it. So he's enjoying himself too. So good stuff. Hello, Miss Master Fox. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Although I see your streams every once in a while. Usually, when you choose to stream, I tend to be working. So, fine. So, yeah, no, animals are doing well. I like Ziggy's a lot easier to say. It was just the first thing I came up with. I was actually thinking Quantum Leap. The device he calls into, which he calls Ziggy. Good show. That and Sliders. Oh, there's no replacing a cat. There is getting a new cat, but there is no such thing as replacing a cat. Just like you can't really replace a person. I've got my leopard geckos. I've got 4 of them. They're still doing they're being antisocial at the moment. The new ones are still kind of antisocial. The bigger one of the group got a little bit frisky towards one of them, so a little bit shyer. And it's taken a little bit getting used to them, but they're all doing well. Yeah, not the new ones. You haven't seen the new lizards yet. But they're still really feisty. So, it's just a matter of letting them simmer down a little bit, and then once they simmer down, they're a little bit more used to it, then I can take them out and okay. Young, definitely. Okay. If you get stolen, generally we call the cops. We don't, but you're right. We don't get a new you. That's for sure. But we do call the cops because that's bad. People getting stolen is not a good thing. Yeah, I like all animals myself. I am definitely a sucker for owls, but I like all animals. Every once in a while, I will hear them hooting outside. I wonder if one of them actually has a nest, but I haven't seen one. There was one time that I heard right outside of my window, like a screech owl call. That sound very similar to the call of the one that I had. And like on instinct, I just dropped everything, ran right outside. Hello? Baby, are you out there? Nothing. I'm looking up and I'm going, Universe, it is not nice to tease me like that. Don't tease me like that. Yes, I still miss my owl. Very much miss my owl. But I've got a lovable kitty that showers me with affection and stuff and is a real sweetheart, so there's that. let me grab. Anyway, so one thing that I've been thinking about doing, like I'm trying to get myself a new routine going, so I might actually fit in time, not quite a daily video, but whenever I do them, doing them on certain days, and have like kind of a themed thing sort of going on. Like for if I'm doing videos like on a Monday, it'll be Mutator Mondays, like something that could be done different, etc. Tuesday I might talk about anime, Wednesday might be movies, Thursday might be like for tabletop games, role playing or otherwise. Friday might be for like video games. Saturday might be for like deep thinking, and of course I leave Sunday off. And then stream-wise, I could have a general theme that I go along with for certain times, like Mondays, Mandela Effect, Tuesday, just Tales in general, Weird World for Wednesdays, like more supernatural stuff, Your Mileage May Vary. Well, actually, Your Mileage May Vary would be Tales. Weird World would just be like paranormal type stuff. Thoughts and Theories for Thursday. Fun and Games, which could be anything from like we design a game together and then try to play it on stream, or just something like a game night, since we haven't done those in a while. Shout out Saturdays, just shout outs in general to people, interesting people or places or things. By the way, I just want to take a moment for a quick shout out to VHS Archive, because apparently we had one of my live streams, one of the last live streams that I did with Joy, and actually said, hey, you know, this guy is being given a lot of shit, but let's see what he's really like. So I do appreciate that, and he really didn't have, you know, it was presented in a way that didn't really come off to me as like biased one way or the other, but it was a pretty decent representation. It was like, and if you want to see the whole thing, here you go. Cool. So just a quick shout out to VHS. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, because people tend to give you a lot of shit for whatever reason, and then they can turn around and go, wait, no, this is what's going on with that. Now, VHS has approached me like one or twice, but they've always been like really, like they've been really respectful. And then he released a video about me a few hours ago. Actually, it was something like Joy Sparkle BS, more truth that counter the lies. Because someone told me about it, and it's like, you know, there's a video about you, and I'm like, well, not really. I don't. Who did it? It's like, who made it? And I'm like, oh, VHS? Okay, sure, we'll see it. Sure, I'll see what they got to say. Yeah. That was their name. And they've been really nice, so I just wanted to, again, give a quick shout out about that. Just because it's nice to show people the other side of the story so they actually get to know me and not just whatever comes out of people's mouths. So, that's that. Anyway, I made my little shout out to there, so I'm good with that. But basically, the reason that I'm bringing up the thing about the different streams and videos is I've set myself up kind of a little bit of a schedule, which I could be doing better on. And giving myself like an hour or so for like a stream, a video, something like that. And so I'm trying to think, well, okay, if I set myself up to do something like that daily, should I do like a daily stream? Or should I do something like a day stream for like 2 hours, and then like a night stream for 2 hours, you know, something like that. I still don't really know how to quite pull that off yet, but it's something that I'm just kind of playing around with at the moment. So that way I can make sure that the people that want to show up in the daytime, that want us to talk in the daytime and such, that way, you know, they can get addressed too. Yeah, doing every day can be taxing. I was doing like quite a few for a while there, and then, but the other thing of it is, Nathan, yeah, no kidding. You are one of the nicer ones, but I'll say at this point, I just can't understand why you backed that dumpster fire. It's nothing that I haven't said to other people. But thank you for being one of the nicer ones. And I'm going to say it, you probably are going to be one of those that has to find out the hard way. And I'm sorry. But do yourself a favor. Get out now while you still can. It's not going to get better. And the people that are the closest to the epicenter are the ones that are going to get fucked over the worst. So, I don't know. Make of that what you will. You seem like a really cool dude. You've been really awesome whenever you've been in the streams. I don't want you to get pulled down into that bullshit from any side. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I think enough of that's been covered and done to death. So ultimately, I hope everything works out well. Just please be careful, dude. You have no idea how fucked up it can get. And I'd rather you not find out. Or anybody for that matter. Oh? Ugh. I'm sorry. It happens. It happens, Nathan. It does. It's only a matter of time. It's not an if. It's a when, and how bad things get after the fact. I'm still... you're one of the lucky ones, then. But get out of Dodge while you still can. Not even kidding. But again, thank you for being one of the better ones, definitely one of the nicer ones. Anyway, moving back from all of that. Basically, I'm not just... doing those streams is not like the only thing that I'm doing, because I've set up time for, like, you know, my routine for, like, breakfast, exercise, you know, getting stuff done, like cleaning, laundry, organization stuff, free time or project time, that sort of stuff. So I can kind of alternate things a little bit. This is something that I'm kind of experimenting with, or what I call, as I was talking to someone about, Project Lynn, or Life is Now. For those of you that don't know, if anybody's familiar with there's a kid show that's called Lazy Town. And the actor Stefan Carl Stephenson, he plays Robbie Rotten, and he's one of a meme hit known as We Are Number One. Stefan came down with a really aggressive form of cancer. It's like so. In fact, it's one of those they only had like a 2% survival rate for, and at least for the time being, like it went into stage 4. It went to the point of basically no return, no hope. They were telling him make peace with whoever and whatever. Okay, and this guy has been a trooper through all of this shit. I have a lot of respect for this guy. Well, I have some good news for you. And that is, the cancer is gone. They managed to get it. We don't know if there's more or not, anything remaining, or that whether or not it may come back. But, right now, his cancer is in remission. 2% survival rate. And this guy, for the moment, has beat it. And he said every day that's on his mind, every day is like a gift. And the first thing that came on that they said is, you know, after everything you've been through, the biggest challenge is healing yourself. Now you have to heal yourself because life is now. And that was the basis for, you know, this organizational thing, because again, life is now. Some very powerful words. Life is now. It's not. It is here in the moment, right now. Whatever you're doing, right now. There may not be a tomorrow, so you got to make sure you got to do everything you can with what you have today, and that's very powerful for a lot of folks that have their own day-to-day struggles, because we all have our own struggles. And so again, it's just me going at this, going, "Hey, I've survived some shit. Nothing nearly that bad. But it's just more of an inclination for me to get myself going and live rather than just exist. An actor that played Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. His name is Stefan Carl Stephenson. You know him as Robbie Rotten. And 2% survival rate, and this guy survived. And he's like, I'm not going to think about the fact that I survived. I'm going to think about the fact that I am alive and that every day is a gift. And now I just have to heal myself. To an extent, I think everybody in this room can say the same. Now, I mean, are you going to live life, or are you just going to exist? Oh, it is amazing. Very inspirational. You can live life, or you can just exist. I like to live. I like to get out and do things. I'm not just in front of this computer all the time. I actually go out and do things. I talk to people. And occasionally I even try to meet people. This is not really the best town for that, though. But even then, I'm working on moving at some point. Hopefully, I want to say hopefully within a year. We will see. Maybe, maybe not. It might be pushed to next year. I don't know. But I really do want to get into a better environment where there's just more opportunities to meet people. And the best part is, my job allows me to do that. Because the only thing that I need to do is have a landline connection and internet. Cool. So I can take my work wherever. I just have to find a place with a good standard of living. Like I was saying, I mean, we all have our struggles. Everybody has their struggles. I don't think it makes anybody better or worse than anybody else. It just means that that particular person has their particular challenge to be with. And for me, in my own situation, any challenges that I face just mean I'm going to be that more stubborn about trying to make sure it doesn't keep me down. So I'm going to pick myself back up, and I'm going to get going. Oh, don't get me wrong, as some people on this channel are very familiar with, there are times that I will become emo-phil, and I will mope about it and get really depressing as fuck. And I'm sorry, because that can be contagious and bring everybody down. And it can be a bit of a buzzkill. For that, I apologize. But basically, it goes on 3 stages. First stage is, I get mopey as fuck about it. Second stage, I get quiet. Then the third stage, I get off my ass, and whatever's bothering me, I get it taken care of. So anytime you see me going through that, it's basically, that's pretty much what's going down. So if I get quiet, don't worry. I'm just going through that next stage, and then all of a sudden, I bounce back, and I start dealing with whatever it is I need to deal with accordingly. Oof. Can't say I have anything like that. I've had people speculate on the ADD part, but I don't know. Worst case scenario, I just kind of fidget a lot. I've had some moments of high anxiety. And I've definitely had some struggles, more than a few struggles with depression. I'm better about it now than I definitely was. I have to be. But it is what it is. I actually have family in Pennsylvania. One of whom was wanting me to move down there at some point, and I'm like, I don't really know. Maybe. It would be nice to have like a stream meetup at some point. That would actually be really cool. Hell, I'd even invite the trolls. We can all share recipes for rat burgers. It'd be almost like Demolition Man. Emo-phil was like the worst. Are you kidding me? Total buzzkill. I will be honest about shit, even if it's me, and I'll be the first to tell you, emo-phil is the worst. Okay? It is what it is, but it's a lot better when emo-phil is not in the picture. But thank y'all for putting up with me just the same. I do appreciate that, and some of y'all have been really cool during that time. Um, no, I don't wear black eyeliner. I don't do makeup. Ha! That's funny. I don't know. Hey, cool. I'll totally invite the trolls. We can share. They can share their rat burger recipes. Maybe some proper hairstyles. Hey, maybe with luck, one of them will be a hairstylist. They can give me some pointers. And for the record, I did see a comment about someone asking about why I cut my hair the way I do. I use scissors. I cut my own hair. I never said it was professional. So maybe they can give me some pointers. Probably wouldn't hurt at this point. What the hell is that? Oh, whatever. Yeah, I see that you're actually in queue. Give me just a moment here. It depends. Sometimes, trolls will mess with you, and then you'll mess with them right back, and it's like, hey, this guy's actually pretty cool, and you get along just fine. Other times, they're just not going to like you, or they're not going to care one way or the other, and they'll just get bored and move on. Maybe. I don't know. So, it is what it is. I felt like I was just starting to establish a rapport with the one that was comparing me to, that was trying to ask about, like the rat motif. I don't know. Maybe it's like their toad or something. Was just starting to establish a rapport with them. We were just starting to get somewhere, and then they're like, okay, this isn't what we wanted. Oh, guys. No, your comment came up, Silver. It's okay. I'm not ignoring you. Yeah. Nose itches. Friar Tuck? I don't know, I've already got like half of that down. I've kind of got like the Friar thing going. I actually thought about just completely shaving, like totally clean shaven before getting on the stream. I thought about like clean shaving just to throw everybody off. I may still do that. I try to, Nathan. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to come up from time to time. I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum, though. As I said in my comments, at some point, that door's got to close. Hello, everyone is crazy. And you're right. To a certain extent, I think everybody is more or less crazy. Oh, come on now. That's just cold, Silver. Everyone is crazy. I like that, and I like the little icon, too. I didn't realize it was actually words at first. I had to look in a little bit closer. I actually thought it was like a tinfoil hat. And I'm sitting there going, that's beautiful. And I'm like, wait, it comes off like a tinfoil hat, but it's actually words? Oh, okay, that's cool. That was actually really cool. Everyone is crazy. Crazy. I think everybody's crazy to a certain extent. Just look at freaking society. I'm not nuts, just have them. Now, what are you doing with Miley Cyrus's eye? She needs that to work properly to her impressionable audience that could care less about her next week. I guess it depends on the kind of crazy. We're all mad here. There's a Mandela effect one for you. Apparently that doesn't exist. Apparently it's we're mostly mad here. Yes, I have horse. Who quite frankly is a little bitch, but let's not go there. Cyrus or Sirius as in the dog star. just could also be a reference to Anubis. And also references 2 hours, 4 is 4 hours. A lot of different symbolism there. But then again, you're figuring a certain particular area of the world where every single culture basically took a little bit from one of the cultures next to it. Or certain gods and goddesses migrated from one section to another and just went under different names. The evil eye. I'll take the good eye. It always makes me wonder where the other eye went to. Did they get rid of it like a bargain bin? Maybe that's the eye that Odin gave up in the Well of Ymir. And that's why it's the evil eye in the triangle. It's getting revenge. Illuminati confirmed. Because Odin gave up an eye for wisdom and the rune stones. And they never really did say... Well, no. Yeah, they could be that other eye. I don't know. Sold it for a jug of whiskey? I don't drink, but that had better be some damn good whiskey. Yeah, just remember, curses bury 2 people. Curses bury 2 people and bear no masters. Why is my opinion getting off the charts? Oh, I'm just random stuff. Next. Really? There. Alright. Wrap this here. That's the one bad thing. Got a beard and mustache. They tend to itch. My day was alright. It was basically a work day for the most part. I had some interesting calls. I work tech support, okay? And we take care of certain things. One of the things is, we'll get people that call us in talking about scams and so on. And we have this guy. So, apparently, supposedly the IRS called him, or so he says. And they didn't want money, nope, they wanted gift cards. And he spends $300-400 in gift cards. That's right. He gives them the codes to the gift cards. Then he calls us, asking if there's anything he can... No, this is an American. This is an American, probably 20s to 30s. Okay? Yes. And he's asking us if there's anything we could do about it. And we're like, no, you gave them the code, right? Yes. Well, that's that. I know, right? Usually that's a dead ringer. If it's the IRS, they're not going to ask you for freaking gift cards. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh, God. So, after we've told him that basically we can't give him any money or anything for it, he turns around and goes, well, can I use the cards? Sir, you gave them the code, right? Yes. Then you probably can't use the card. It's probably dead in the water. It's probably been used. Oh. Yeah, keep in mind the IRS is not going to ask you for gift cards. They have no purpose for gift cards. But excluding that from the conversation, probably the best thing you can do, sir, is to turn around and contact your bank and see what they can do about maybe, contesting that charge. Oh, there is dumb, and then there is user error replace user. That is, you could take the warning labels off of everything and it still wouldn't do a job sorting some people out. No, that guy was real, unfortunately. And the one that followed was only a little better. Lady called in angry because because they saw an advertisement that showed someone taking their phone, taking pictures underwater. So they assumed that their phone could do it too. And the rep supposedly told them that it was okay as long as it wasn't in the ocean or something like that. So needless to say, water damage. And that means that isn't going to work. Oh, it gets better. She knows that water damage is not covered by warranty. She calls in insisting that it's our fault, that her daughter took the phone and dived into water like she was a seal. That's what I call a hot coffee. Because it's one of those, yep, it is. You dive into water with that, even you might, if you have a case, you might be able to get away if it's just briefly or for a little bit. But if you're submerged in water and taking photographs, you're probably better off without an iPhone. Yeah. That's still not as good as the one that decided that felt they needed to clean out their computer, so they opened it up and decided to scrub it with soap and water. That's right. That happened. Then they called us wanting to know why the device wasn't working. And then they wanted to know whether or not we'd replace the thing. And were surprised when we told them that wouldn't happen. That was not today. That last one was not today. The other two were from today. And I'm sitting there going, man, this has gotta be from the Eclipse. This has gotta be the Eclipse doing this. Because holy cow, it was for a while, it was like calls like that over and over and over and over again. And I'm sitting there like, huh. Okay. Oh no. You want a good story. This happened when I was working in Converges in an actual call center. This one's great. You're going to love this one. Time of the iPhone 4S. What I'm about to tell you, I want you to keep in mind, as crazy as this story is about to get, everything I'm about to tell you is the same part of that call. Yeah, oh, this is going to get good. So this was around the time of the iPhone 4S, right before the 5, I want to say. Yeah, right before the 5. And 4S wasn't quite refurb or anything like that. This is the time the going rate was like $450 for one, I think. So this lady calls in and she's pissed off. It's the phone company's fault. It's the phone maker's fault. It's Apple. Supposedly she's saying it's Apple's fault and so on. And what happened? Here's what happened. She was convinced that her iPhone was producing offspring. Yes, you heard that right. She was convinced her iPhone was producing offspring, and that the offspring were following her. That she was being stalked by little mini iPhones that were being produced because her iPhone was apparently giving birth. Oh, and the governor of Wisconsin had taught her how to hack iPhones and was secretly stalking her and eavesdropping on her communications. Yep, that was the call that I got. And the best part is my response, because you have to figure how I normally am. And any of you that have heard me so far can probably have an idea of how I'm about to react to this. And it was interesting enough that my supervisor decided she's going to plug in and listen, because she's like, I better check that out. Oh no, it gets better. Because my response is, without even missing a beat, I'm like, ma'am, I don't see how that's a problem. And that's when my supervisor was like, I better listen in. Because she's like, I'm like sitting right in the cubicle right next to her. Right next to her. So she heard every word of that. And this is not normally something that you would hear somebody say in a call center. So she's like, I better listen in. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And I'm like, this is going to get good. Man, let me make sure I got this issue right. Just getting down to the meat and potatoes of the matter. Your iPhone 4S is producing offspring, correct? Yes, that's correct. It's horrible, I tell you, horrible. Alright? And these offspring, they are following you and harassing you and giving you a hard time. Yes, I just need to make it stop. Okay. So, ma'am, my next question to you. Do you have any idea, do you know what the going rate for an iPhone 4S is on the market right now, just for a refurbished phone? No? It's about $425, $450. You're telling me your iPhone 4S can give birth and produce other iPhones. Plus, they seem to be sentient and mobile. So, considering what the going rate would be for something like that, I don't see what the problem is. In fact, where can I sign up? I'm dedicated to helping you out. I will be happy to help you and me at the same time. Please tell me where to sign up. I will never have to work again. I can produce those things like a veritable cash cow and like retire. Let me know. Where do I pick them up? Where do I sign up? And there was this pause. That's what I'm getting to. There was this pause. She's like, you know, I never thought about that. Click. And right around the time I'm saying this, my supervisor unplugs and she takes off a little ways down the room, and you just hear her burst out laughing. She didn't want the lady to hear her laughing over the phone, and she's like laughing her ass off, and they're trying to like, what's so damn funny? And she's like, that call, that freaking call, oh my god, and she's just cracking up. Yeah, I'm here to help. I tell people all the time, I'm here to help. I have no problem taking that shit off her hands. Are you kidding me? I will put that to work for me. And if they're mobile, I'll just find out what they want. Now, of a sudden, I have a mobile task force. Hell yeah. And first on the scene for the Singularity? Shit. I put that damn stuff on the news. Then I'll be famous. And here we have Philip with the cusp of the Singularity. Unfortunately, he's been telling them all bad jokes, and they're a little bit pissed off, and they want to kill us all now. Great job ruining it, hero. Because you know that's what would happen. I'd be like, so, have you heard the one about the robot? And they'd be like, really? The first thing that I do to gain sentience? And you want to tell me robot jokes? The fuck is wrong with you? And I'd be like, oh god, let me sit you down and tell you a tale, brother. Or is it sister? I don't know. You're a machine. Do you even have a gender? How does that even work? Then I'd spend the next 30 minutes trying to interrogate them, and if they're gonna get pissed off really quickly. No, you're not the only Philip. We stopped the Highlander stuff a long time ago. Legal was not pleased. But I had the edge in, and I was leading on the scoreboard, so it's probably a good thing. Probably, I don't know. So, oh no. Basically what I would wind up doing after that, I would take any robot that takes a Singularity you do not want to put around me. Actually, it would be specious, since robots don't really have a kind of colored thing. Or they're technically multicolored, so they can be anything. So technically it would be specious. Well then, fellow Philip, you are welcome to try, and good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. By the way, by letting me know, I already have time to set up ample defenses, and I'll be sure to YouTube what's left of you for your next of kin. But good luck. Are you kidding me? I'm not going hunting his ass down. Legal tends to frown on stuff like that, for one. Two, it's just a little bit psychotic, and three, Highlander is trademarked. And I'm not fucking around with their copyright lawyers. Forget that shit. No, so you don't want to put any kind of robot with actual sentience around, because what I will do, I will make them download 4chan. I will make them download YouTube. I will make them download Tumblr. And I will give it like I give it 24 hours before they either commit suicide or try to kill the entirety of our race. Just saying. You have to consider the content on these things. I'm sorry, Philip, I cannot have kids with you. It's just kind of like a sex/gender thing. I'm not that talented, but thank you for the offer. Yeah, no. Are you kidding me? Put them on Tumblr for 24 hours and see how quickly a sentient robot loses its will to live. They cannot get that out of their hard drives, okay? It's stuck there. If there was ever considered like they have like human rights violation, that would be a robot rights violation. They'd probably give me the chair. I honestly wouldn't either, but I'm trying to give some folks the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they start in on the cute puppy and kitten side of YouTube. Then they get into the fucked up side, and they're like, oh dear God, what have we done? Aw, did you leave already? I was just starting to have fun with the fellow Philip. We keep running out of them. Their mortality rate is like higher than the lemmings in World War II. And I'm not talking about the soldiers, I'm talking about the actual lemmings because, why not? They're out to off themselves anyway, why not help it along? Plus, if you give a whole bunch of them grenades and send them into battle, it makes sense. Why would I risk perfectly good soldiers when I have lemmings that are going to kill themselves anyway? Just saying. Take what you have and make it work, but other people say, Philip, that's psychopathic, twisted, messed up, what the hell is wrong with you? Which I don't have enough time to explain anyway. Then I feel to feed them to a goldfish. And other people start to spend time trying to figure out how that works. Meh. Not nearly as great as the time that I crossbred Pikachu with a side order of a side salad and a ham sandwich. Tastiest Pokemon alive. Ash still is. Apparently, I'm still off Ash Ketchum's Christmas card list. But society is a lot of things. Every time I think I want to know more about it, I remind myself, why I probably don't. The guy that said ignorance is bliss definitely knows what the hell he's talking about. No, he was more like a BLT. BLTP. Bacon, lettuce, tomato, Pikachu. They tried to call it Chew. I tried to call it Chew Ham Foo, but then they tried to put some LGBT slant on it, and you know that's always going to get warped. I wonder, for all like 2 of you that get the reference that I was making there. Chew Man Foo. Chew Ham Foo, excuse me. I probably gave it away there. Which, for those of you that don't know what I was talking about, it was the two-man Foo sort of thing. The one about with Patrick Swayze and the drag queens. Yeah, it was like, what, 80s or 90s they released that movie? So that was a play on words. I do that a lot. That and Tu Wong Fu. There you go. Okay, so I kind of butchered it. Ha! Butchered. Butchered. Ham. There's the segue. And the save. I was talking about the majestic moose who crossbred with the cheese to go over the 7 seas and do horrible things with lettuce. And if you're confused and wondering what the hell, well, congratulations. You got the point. Because I do random. I do random. That was random. Exactly, Crazy. Now you got it. We have an exactly what in a chain. Shall Silverstein reference? Where the Sidewalk Ends. That was the book. Not to be confused with the song by Garth Brooks. I believe it was. Somebody's got to do it. It's not doing a good job on itself. I might as well break the damn thing. I'm just random in general, especially when I'm in a much better mood. So that's the thing. Alright. So, stream's starting to wind down for a bit of the night. I've got like a little bit of time. About 15 or so before I've got to get in bed. So, I'm going to go ahead. And Silver, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and guest you for the last part. We'll end it on a high note. Because Silver's awesome. So, I'll go ahead and guest you and close up with that. How about that? Welcome back, Meow. Right, Meow? Oh, this is on your computer. Cool. Cool. Hello.
Hey.
How's the computer working out?
Oh my god, it's working! Yay!
Well, that answers that question.
It wouldn't work. Someone tried to... Hold on. I'm in bed. Okay. Hi, you're in bed with me. I have 10 people in bed with me.
Whoa! That escalated really quickly.
The light's on, so hey.
Well, yeah, that's right. The red light is on. Don't think we have exactly 10 people in bed with you. There are easier ways to get likes and views on you now.
Red light meets Phil. Alright, anyway.
Oh.
I'm not used to this camera being where it is. Hold on. God damn it, now I have to move my entire body. Really?
Meow.
Bye, Meow. Hey, Meow. Where's Meow?
She was in chat. She's popped in a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I saw her pop in on.
I said hi a couple of times. I'm not sure if she
move my.
I don't know if Unow's being nice.
Unow's been being a bitch for like a week.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when people were given like lights and stuff, the screen would turn black and then fade back out. And then earlier, when I was trying to do stuff with.
Yeah, you told me. Because I was like, are you live or not? Like, what's going on? Because every time I clicked it, it literally just took me to your profile.
Well, no, because when I'm sitting up, then it will say like it's live until I'm actually on there. And then, but I'm not really sure what's going on. Like right now, I have like a direct connect cord to the modem that I usually use for my work computer. I unplugged that and put it into this one because my computer, the connection has been going in and out, in and out, in and out, really sporadic. Okay? And then all of a sudden, now there's an issue with the there was an issue with the sound. And then, but I'm not sure if that was just you now. Because when I clicked out of you now, then all of a sudden, boom! Oh, hello, I'm awake now.
It probably was. It probably was just you now. Because, like, I saw after I couldn't click on you, I was clicking on just random people. And every single person was restarting their broadcast.
Oh, yeah, for those of you that didn't see it, I actually have a picture of Solar Flip.
Did you see what I was talking about? Did you see what I was talking
about? You can't really see it that well from here. But if
right there. Right there.
If you like look at it looks like an eye in itself, but then when you zoom in on the thing, there's actually like a pupil shape in there, and I'm like,
no, if you zone in on the pupil shape that you're talking about, it looks like a fucking person. It looks like the head, neck, and upper shoulders of a person. It's weird.
I didn't see that part. I saw the pupil part, but that was it.
Yeah, I wrote it in chat, and I was like, "Oh my god, it looks like."
Yeah, I saw that response. There's a lampshade in the way. Well, you know, lampshading. But
totality.
no, someone in my area sent me that pic, and I was like, whoa, okay. I did see the eclipse though.
It's a nice picture. It was
Actually,
like
you know what's bothering me about the whole thing with the eclipse? Nobody usually cares about eclipses. Everybody's going, it's like a once in a lifetime event. No, it's not.
Everyone always goes crazy around eclipses. What are you talking about?
Well, no, for the most part, like, not like this. Everybody's like, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was talking about it in my team chat at work, and we're all saying the same stuff. You know, people like eclipses. It's like we don't have like big meetups and everybody like going crazy across social media about it for the most part. Not like this.
Right.
And all of a sudden, everybody's like going gaga. Oh my god, it's an eclipse. And we have a couple of them during the year. These things happen. This one looked creepy, but other than that, I mean, it was just a thing.
Yeah.
We're all still in one piece.
Being hyped up.
We had like a Mandela switch, and we're now in an alternate universe. God help us.
Ooh, no, don't do that. Okay. Anyway, the last time I remember it being hyped up this much was like the total eclipse that we had, like, fuck, I don't know what year it was. When I was a kid. You would have probably been like 5 years older than me, because you are 5 years older than me. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It was when I was a kid. You were probably a teenager. Do I have headphones? I do. Do I need to plug them in? Can you not hear me? Hold on.
I think people ran out of doomsday prophecies and claiming this political figure or that is the reincarnation of Hitler. Which, one of the creatures that I'm going to create, because I saw this on the webcomic, and I think it would be awesome to come across this, is a Hitler horn. It is like a blonde-maned, blue-eyed unicorn that has a Hitler mustache. It's called a Hitler corn. No, I did not come up with this. Somebody came up with this on a webcomic, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, that's hilarious!" Even more hilarious is you get a group of adventurers that see this thing. Some people are going to want to catch it; others will want to kill it for the good of the species. All right, Mr. or Mrs. Crazy, peace out. Good to see you, and thank you again, Charlie.
See you later.
Yeah, it's echo. It happens with these. Peace out, Crazy. But yeah, I just can imagine people going up to town against that thing. A couple of different things I wanted to create little character things for. A guard waffle. And a giant monster crab that's shell is like a Viking helmet.
Wait, what?
Your voice is gone.
My voice is gone?
I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Like you're plugged in. I don't know if you're plugged into a microphone or something.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Weird.
Huh.
Okay. No earbuds then. Anyway. Oh. I can't remember what the fuck I was gonna say. Oh, like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? What are you talking about? You're talking about like some the waffles and the crabs and the I don't know, crazy.
I just see weird things and I'm like, this would be interesting for a party of role players to go up against. Then I have to make stats for it. I made Thanksgiving monsters. Are you kidding me? They're humanoid turkeys that like to capture and stuff humans like a turkey. I have the stats for them somewhere. It was a Thanksgiving challenge. And I'm like, oh, gotta work with this.
Well, no, you can hear me now because I don't have headphones in. When I plugged them in, that's when everybody said they couldn't hear me.
Yeah, the echo was gone, but then she couldn't hear. Probably need something because you're using a computer, so you probably need something like one of those like headset mics sort of things.
Yeah, I know. I hate having shit on my head though.
Having what?
I hate having shit on top of my head.
Well, I think anybody would have a problem with that. I mean, there's the smush and the smell and the.
Shut up. You know I'm talking about fucking
Well,
earphones.
yeah, I was very specific what you were talking about, and I agree with you.
Anyway, moving on. I need to finish that video.
That video?
Oh my god, I look like fucking hell. You were talking about it earlier.
Oh, the one that I posted, it was
Not that you posted. VHS.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Scott one was kind of interesting in itself, but it takes some dark turns. I like that.
A long time ago. It just kind of popped up out of thin air, and I'm like, what's all this? And it was just like a bunch of recordings at first, and then they did a live stream, and then some other
Their
stuff.
last was like 2 months ago, I think it was, but the theory is. And then the one that Matt did where it was like, ooh. And it's called Petscop. Oh, might as well put that over the bracket. Yeah, it's one of Game Theory's recent ones. And I would say go ahead and watch that theory if you haven't, if you guys in the audience haven't seen it, simply because it's interesting the way it puts it together, and it's interesting the way that yeah, because that's what you're
Why
having.
are you trying to blame me?
Because that's what's going on.
He's the one that's crackling. I'm shit. I'm clear as crystal.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
There is crystal.
Crystal clear.
Just like about as shiny as silver.
I can't make myself when I don't talk.
Yeah, you're echoing even with your own.
I'm echoing?
Kind of. There's like a little distortion like you were talking a moment ago, and then you heard the little sort of thing.
Ah! The fuck just happened? God damn it. No.
See? There's some shit right there.
Yeah, it tried to pop up a fucking someone else's email shit. I was trying to click off of it, not on it. It's like Skype from years ago.
But no, I like the way that MatTap really took that across, because he really did break down kind of well how we fit that theory. I've watched a couple of the videos on it, and well, we'll see. I'm going to do a little bit deeper. I like a good story.
Okay. We'll see.
Oh, hello, Pekka. I didn't see you pop into the audience. I hadn't seen you in there for a little while. So, hello.
Okay.
Anything big planned? I remember that, Mecha, and welcome back. I hear the click.
Can you hear me?
I didn't hear. If you're speaking, I'm not hearing it.
How about now?
No.
Fuck.
Wait. I heard something, but it was really low.
How about now?
Sounds like we're all having sound issues today.
It's pissing me off.
Oh well.
Sounds like we're all having sound issues today.
Me on my phone. That works.
Yeah.
They work fine on the phone. Apparently, they just don't want to work on the computer.
I don't know. It depends. What model do you have? What model computer do you have? You know?
It's fuck me. It's an older
I
version.
don't think they come in that model.
It's the what the fuck, Mandy? Where are you? She's not doing. Hold on. Can't see. It's the I don't know. Fuck. It's the HP something. I can't remember what version it is.
Not the version so much as the model.
It's an HP, but it's a
Oh, it's an HP?
yeah.
Okay.
God damn it! What do you call it? Fuck. Tried to buy the damn thing. Why can't I think of the name?
Yeah. Some HPs weren't so bad. Because HP did take some stuff over from Compaq, and Compaq was actually a good brand of computer. I used to use Compaqs like I preferred Compaqs above anything else for a while, and then HP bought them out. So, not the greatest on their power supplies, but that aside,
I generally
might have to say, take care. But I'm actually kind of wondering what's going on with my own computer. Like, I recently had to replace the battery because the battery was dying.
yeah.
Hopefully this is not causing issues with the computer. I don't know. I never had a problem with it before.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. God, I don't know. Because then I know what I'm going to need to save up for first.
Yours automatically mute. That's the only thing I can think of that's happening is that it's muting it. But wait, it can't mute it because I spoke to you. You were the person I tested the damn computer with. I spoke to you on video chat with earphones. These earphones.
Yep. You did. It might just be because you know it's weird.
But if it sucks, you can.
I had to go and select my microphone from the settings and stuff. So I don't know.
Works there. Check my volume. Like right now. Am I loud? Hold on. I tend to be a loud person anyway. Oh, how's that?
Well, let's see.
That's fine.
Still a little bit, but not so bad.
That's what I was doing, Beezy. Jesus, what do you think all the clicking was?
You probably shouldn't insert a cookie into that.
I wasn't clicking myself for, like, trying to get
Well,
off.
if you are clicking yourself, what you do is privacy and comfort of your own home. I mean,
Button. Sorry. Had to. Dick from your computer. I don't think you click a dick, but you could. I wouldn't suggest it.
Depends on the robot, I guess. I don't know. You could click with a dick. I don't know. Especially if the guy's name is Richard, and you mesh really well, then yeah, you could click with a dick.
Oh my lord.
I'm just saying. It's all in the wordplay.
All the puns. All the puns.
Yeah. Puns, bad jokes.
All the people Jesus Christ. Sorry, I looked over and I saw like all the.
Now he's been in therapy ever since we invited him to Quake and brought out the super nail gun.
Wait,
He
what?
did not take well to the super nail gun.
Most people don't. Most people don't. They tend to kind of have issues with that. That's
Oh, I
alright.
just have issues in general, but at least I'm honest about it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to move you on the other side.
Alright, well, it is just about time for me to actually get off this thing. Anything you want to pop up quick before then?
Oh yay! I can see. Okay. You're popping off?
Well, yeah. Not like that, though.
Into what?
That would be more of a pop-up than a pop-off.
Uh-huh.
You asked.
Beezy and Charlie and everybody else, they're like,
That's entirely the point. Good way to wind it down on a high note. And probably a cold shower.
there we go. I don't take cold showers. I take very hot showers. They are necessary. I hate the cold. No.
Alright, so what,
My mom you're dead. But no, just have a good night. Everybody in chat, have a good night. Y'all have fun. Beezy, Charlie, Lotus, everybody. Anyway, I love you guys.
Alright, everybody.
See you
Thank
later.
you so much. Silver, thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Night-night, everybody. It's time to turn it in so I can stick with my nice little schedule and wake up in decent time to get some stuff done. Which means I might be able to do some daytime streams and so on, so we'll see. Take care, and have a great night, everybody. And thank you all for stopping by.